Um, it's kind of one of those games that we probably got to get ready for, several times. You figure out you're going to play a game, a couple of days before you're going to play it. I said Zach Greenwell and Talis did a good job getting them to switch just to come here and get games. We just need games. You never know, what's going to be happening. Forget 2 weeks from now, what's happening tomorrow. So it's good just to get a game, get them in here. Uh, Mississippi Valley first half made some shots. We scrambled around. They played 5 guards and they made some threes at the end of that press. I think they had 8 the first half. We quit doing that second half, didn't press as much. It didn't make as many threes. So, I thought this. I thought some guys off the bench. I thought Davion brought us great energy and toughness. I thought Rawls brought some skill level, ability to go make plays for himself and other people. And Kevin brought us some energy. He had good stats and amount of minutes. Luke, I can probably say this, there won't be another night he goes 1 for 8. So he's going to do what he does. But I thought our bench, and we know Davion and Rawls add skills to this team, and we need skill, in particular with playing Charles and Carson together. We need some skill with those guys. And like I said, those 2 guys add that skill. He had 21 offense rebounds, that's plus. Had 21 assists, that's plus. Like I said, Luke didn't shoot it very well, but had a chance to play a lot of people, and, that's always good. We haven't had a game like that all year long. I haven't had a game I could throw Kevin out there and let him play through some mistakes and let him get comfortable a little bit. Because one thing we've seen him be able to do all fall is make shots. But making shots, sometimes you got to get into a game flow and get comfortable. And this is really the first time we've had an opportunity to throw him in there and let him do that. So it was good for that to happen tonight.
Question?
Coach Jared McDonald with the Daily News here. Obviously Tuesday didn't go the way that you would have liked to, and this is a game where you come in heavily favored. What was the biggest thing that you wanted to improve upon and make sure that you took care of business here today?
It was real simple. The biggest thing was just emotional energy. Emotional energy. That sounds how so simple it is. And especially coming out of what we just came out of. As I've said, it's my fault. I don't know, we should have came back home from South Dakota on that Friday. But we didn't because we were afraid to get out of the bubble and stay here Friday night and Saturday and travel up for Sunday. We were afraid to get the virus. So we basically go up and lay around the hotel for 4 days. And we played that way. No emotional energy. So that was the biggest thing I wanted tonight. We've got to learn to generate that. There's not going to be no popcorn popping. Not going to be no smell of that in the air. Some guys, that gets them going. But we're not going to have it this year. There's not going to be a big crowd. And it's different. I mean, that was different out here tonight. But that's just the way it's going to be everywhere we go and every game we play. We've got to learn to generate our own energy. And again, emotional energy. Not when things are going good, but when things go bad. Who can step up? Who can do it physically? But, well, we got to find some people who can do it verbally too. Talking's energy. Again, we got to be able to get better at talking and bringing energy that way. That was the biggest thing I wanted out of this game tonight. And there was some good and there was some bad.
Coach Jared with the Daily News again. You mentioned Davion and Jordan Rawls bringing in some skill to work with Carson and Charles. But Kenny Cooper is a guy that started his first 5 games this season. What have you thought of his performance through 5 games with Western?
Well, again, I'm sure it's harder on him too with Charles and Carson out there together. So, there's been some good moments and there's been some bad moments. The biggest thing he's got to continue to do, I think defensively he brings a presence to your team. I think he's really good, on that ball defender. Again, stats are what they are through first 4 games before tonight. Again, that's pretty good competition. His stats weren't the best. But again, he's a guy that can help us, but no question. I do think, Davey brings a different kind of skill level. So we need them all. It's a good thing you got a little bit of depth. We got some guys that we can choose from different nights. Some guy going to play better than the other one night. Maybe the next night's the other guy.
Coach, this is Caden Gaylor with the Herald. In the first half, he shot, I believe, 17 threes, and in the second half, it was only 9. So going into the second half, was an emphasis more on driving to the hole?
Well, again, we had wide open shots the first half. I'm not going to tell shooters not to shoot, and particularly the first half. It was Rawls and Luke the first half. If I remember correctly, they were 1 for 9 between them first half, and they were all good shots. But again, you know, you can't just settle for it, every possession where you're open or not. I thought Rawls particularly did a really good job second half getting in that paint. Got in the paint, finished some plays, got in the paint, moved the ball. I thought Rawls moved the ball around in transition. Got it to Luke 2 or 3 different times in transition where he just missed some shots. Again, that don't concern me zero. He'll make them shots. But I thought our skill level was good in that stretch. And, I thought Davy's toughness was really good. And, like I say, Kevin gave us a different element too.
Coach, shared with the Daily News, that different element Kevin brings, it seems like he's just kind of got a nose for the ball. He's got a lot of hustle plays in him and then creates things out of that. I guess, what do you see out of him that makes him or made him so good tonight and kind of brings some energy off the bench for you guys?
Well, you said 2 or 3 words right there. Kind of exemplifies him. Energy, nose for ball. The ball finds energy. So remember that. The ball finds energy. And that's kind of what that is. Davion, that ball finds him. He gets 9 rebounds. He finds it. It ain't going to come looking for you. You got to go get it. Kevin brings that. Again, that's what energy is. Some guys may not be able to play as well as they normally play in this kind of environment. It sounds really crazy. There's some guys, man, they depend so much on emotion from the crowd. I call it artificial motivation. If some guys can't get that level of energy without that, then maybe some guys who don't need that as much play more. As I've said, it may cause you to coach differently. When you press, it's about energy. You got to scramble and press. Can we press as much without energy in the building? Those are things that we'll continue to adjust and find out if we can or if we can't. Certain personnel. Those are just crazy kind of adjustments to even be talking about. But it is where it is. They throw up the basketball. They keep score. We've got to make adjustments to whatever that situation is, just like every other team.
Coach, you all were about, plus 30 on the boards tonight. I know it's not a normal thing, but what does it say to the team that, you have a guard in Davion McKnight who had 9 rebounds tonight? What does it say to the aggressiveness of the team?
No, that's what he does. It's one of those things he can do. He's just a great rebounder. He's one of those guys. Ain't many opposing teams have seen a point guard to go get it. I'm off that backboard like he can. He's one of those guys that will turn loose on offensive boards, get those other guys back some, because he'll go get it. And again, rebounding's toughness. Like you say, energy finds that. The ball finds energy. He's going to play with great energy, great toughness, and he just needs playing time. Get more comfortable in what we're all doing, how we're doing it. Again, this game tonight was a scramble game. They make you scramble a little bit. They go from man to zone and 2 or 3 different kind of zones, and then they got the pressing 2-2-1 back second half, and all those learning experiences for a guy like Davion. I'm not for sure he recognized or knew any of them for sure, because he's in attack mode. It's what he does. But the more he plays, the better he'll get. But as I've said, he plays great energy. He's very unselfish, and he's going to give you some toughness.
Coach shared with the Daily News. I know you talked about Zach and Talvis being able to move this game up. When we started the day, we thought you were going to play Rhode Island next week. But how important was it to get this game scheduled for Thursday against Gardner-Webb? And I guess, what do you know about those guys way too early heading into this one?
Hey, Jared. Hey, our scheduling man is the most important guy on this staff right now. That's Zach and Talvis, constantly working around the clock. Zach, when he was in your profession, he lay his head down every night like you do about 10 o'clock. Now he can't do that. He's on the phone trying to scramble around and find us a team. We find a team at 10 o'clock. All of a sudden he gets a text back at 12. He says, well, I'm not going to play. that's kind of where we are right now in this scheduling. So we got to keep grinding. They ground out a Gardner Webb for Thursday night. But we needed another game. Anytime you get games in right now, what's important just to play games. Gardner Webb, you asked me what I know about them. To be honest with you, I don't know a whole lot about them, except they've had a good program. They've had good teams. I know they were in the NCAA tournament a couple of years ago. I think Zach told me they've got first-team all-league player back and a JUCO All-American back. That's basically all I know about them right now. So, but again, these kind of teams are teams that, we just got to be, concerned about ourselves. Scout reports are all different. They're all different right now. Like you say, we've had a couple scout reports. We've been working on teams. Then we find out we're not going to play them. You got to throw it away. It may be a scouting report we got to put together in 24 hours. And that may happen sometimes. But let's get this Gardner Webb game under our belt Thursday night. That's the next one. Then if everything's where it needs to be, we all know we've got a really, really, really good Rhode Island team coming in here Sunday morning, 11 o'clock. Sunday morning at 11 o'clock, a really, really, really good Rhode Island team. But the next up is Gardner Webb. We had 6 or 7. 7 o'clock Thursday night, guys.
Anything else for Coach?
Good? All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Coach.